Welcome everybody and thank everybody. We're really excited to be closing out the library's Pride Month celebration, and we want to thank the library and the friends of the library for having us. I'm Mary Darling. I use she, her pronouns, and for those of you who aren't familiar with Museful Intent, it's sort of a passion project that my husband and I run because I'm a playwright and a director, so I do a lot of self-producing my own work like we're doing tonight to get work out there, but as a playwright, it's an honor when other folks do my work. So you're actually seeing 3 plays tonight. One recently competed in the Fresh Fruit Festival in New York twice and was just taken into another festival, so it will continue to live on, which is exciting. And then another was featured in the Boston Theater Marathon, so this is the second time that one's gonna be done. And then one is brand new, just for you all. So we're really excited about that premiere. So I also just wanna thank these people who are on stage. They're all collaborators, artists. I've got so much respect for them, and I can also say they're all friends, so this has been a lot of fun to work on. The idea of art is that it sits with you in some way, it makes you think, it makes you feel, so if you want to laugh, if you want to cry, if you want to feel anything, have at it. Thank you, enjoy the show.
So I'm Billy Bolster. I use pronouns of he and him, and I'm very proud to be from Southbridge and thank Margaret for having us here today. The other actors?
Hi, I'm Alana Frankel and I go by she, they pronouns.
I'm Brian Zakrajik.
Mikey Mestis, he, him.
I'm Vivian Eliza Nichols. I'm Sarah Penniman. Most people know me as Penny, and I use she, they pronouns.
Cass Reyes, they, them pronouns.
Strawberry shortcake. The time is the present. The place is a family dining room. Ollie, a 12-year-old child, struggling to connect with their dad. Dad, a man struggling to connect with his child. As the play starts, lights come up on Dad, Ollie, and Mom at the dining table, with what appears to be a strawberry shortcake and some poor attempt at decorations. Everything is totally normal. Oh yeah, other than the fact that Mom is in an urn.
This is nice, right?
If you say so.
I just thought we might as well celebrate.
I don't think it's that celebration worthy, but sure.
Of course it is. It's all part of you becoming
Dad?
maturing and such. I'm doing it again, aren't I?
If by it you mean making a big deal out of something I told you not to make a big deal out of, then yes.
Look, I just thought it would be nice if we talked about it more. And I wanted to say that I'm here for you. And I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Heard.
I could really use some backup here.
Oh, I see you're back talking to the dead as if they're here with us again.
You cope in your way, I cope in mine.
What do you even have that here for?
Olive.
Ollie!
Right. Yes. Ollie. Sorry. If by that you mean Mom, she's here because this is a big day. And I know she'd want to be here for you.
Yeah? Well, if she wanted to be here, then she'd still be here.
Another slice of cake?
It's strawberry shortcake.
Your favorite?
Not anymore.
Oh. I didn't realize it had changed. I'm sorry.
Can I go now?
Not so fast. Speaking of change and all that,
Dad.
I wanted to talk to you about options.
Dad, stop!
Do you know what this is?
Yeah. We don't have any ad-free cable, so I've seen one of those my whole life.
Your whole life? You're 12.
12 and a half.
Right. Sure. Well, do you know how to use one?
I think it's pretty easy to figure out.
Well, you know, your mom actually said she didn't know how to use one until college.
It really can only go one place.
I see.
Mom told me all about all of this when she gave me a period kit.
You're always one step ahead of everything. Thank you.
Yup, so I know all about pads, tampons, liners, and heating pads.
Wow, actually, I've been doing some research. And these types of products have come a long way. And there are actually some really neat modern options.
I know what period underwear are.
You seem to know it all.
Guess so.
We're so proud of you, aren't we? Isn't that right?
Can you stop that already?
Stop what? Loving my wife?
No!
Missing her every day?
Dad!
Wondering if I will ever be half the parent she was to you. Hoping one day you and I can have a semblance of a normal relationship again. I'm sorry that I thought it would be nice to celebrate with a cake and to bring some happiness into this house again. I'm sorry I thought that's what she would have done.
It is what she would have done. Only she would have done it better. She would have known I like chocolate cake now. And she would have known how to actually decorate for a period party. What even are these? What are they supposed to look like? Strings of blood?
Well, I just thought that
Did you cut up one of her old sweaters?
it's all we had. I thought it would make it feel more personal.
That is
Like she was here.
so messed up.
I was trying to surprise you.
Everything is red.
It's period themed.
Who the heck would want a period themed party?
I just thought that
God, you are just so lame.
I'm trying.
I am done with this.
Ollie storms off. Dad is left alone with his thoughts. Well, not alone. With Mom.
I'm sorry. They're not wrong about that. I am lame. They're also not wrong in saying if you wanted to be here, you'd still be here. As you can see, it's not going so good. I thought having you here might channel some good vibes, but I realize now it just made them uncomfortable and upset. Maybe the party was a stupid idea. You always hated my attempts at surprise parties. Like mother, like child, I suppose. You really are just like you. I'm sure you heard the criticism of the decor. Reminds me of when I tried to redecorate the living room by myself. I guess I need to take a hint and just stop doing these things. I feel like a complete failure every second of every day. We're coming up on 1 year of life without you. And it feels like we're still stuck in the moment we found you. Here. Maybe here is the problem. Maybe I'm the problem. Maybe raising a teenager is just as bad as everyone says it is. I still will. I don't understand why you did this to me. Maybe I never will. I thought we were happy. I thought you were happy. I wish I had known you were struggling. 14 years, and you didn't feel like you could tell me what was going on. I want to believe it was just an accident, but I know it wasn't. People don't just accidentally...
Dad,
Ollie.
it was Mom's favorite.
What was?
The strawberry shortcake.
It was?
It was never mine.
Oh.
I just pretended it was because she liked it so much and I wanted to be like her.
I never liked it either.
But you always had it on your birthday.
She thought I liked it, and I never had the heart to tell her I didn't. Sorry, sweetie. Year after year, she'd make it for my birthday, and I'd just smile and eat it.
Ollie picks up a fork and digs into the cake, eating it with a smile. They both begin to laugh. Ollie hands Dad a fork.
It's not that bad.
I got it from a store.
Oh, that's why it's not that bad.
How about we do chocolate cake in the future?
Okay.
Do you want me to put her somewhere else?
No, she can stay. I guess I'm just still mad at her.
So am I.
You are?
I am.
Well, even if we're mad at people, we still love them, right?
Right.
Ollie is holding up her fork full of cake to toast.
To periods.
Dad also toasting with his fork full of cake.
To periods.
Thanks for doing this.
I'm sorry I botched it.
That's okay. It's kind of funny.
You always tell me I'm not funny.
You're not, but this is.
Thank you.
Anytime.
A toast.
To Mom. May she always be right here with us.
To Mom.
End of play. A box of cupcakes. The characters are Max, Allie, and Dad. The setting, a car. Yes, a real car where the actors are in the front seat and the audience is in the back. Allie and Max are listening in the parked car. Allie is in the driver's seat. Max is in the passenger seat. Allie is stalling.
Are you sure you want to do this?
I am. Are you?
Well, yeah, I want to.
You seem pretty anxious about it.
Well, I just don't want them to be disappointed.
Jeez.
That's not what I
That
meant
makes me
to
feel
say.
really great about meeting your parents.
They aren't like yours.
I know. I get it. But nothing they say is gonna change the way I feel about you.
You say that now.
And I'll say it again later.
You're too good for me.
I know. So, how about it? Should we get out of this car? I can only hold this box of cupcakes on my lap for so long without digging into them, you know? Listen. I have been in this situation before, but I understand that you haven't.
I'm sorry.
There's no need to be sorry.
I just know my mom is gonna make a big deal and make it all about herself.
Well, maybe she'll surprise you.
She's always wanted me to have a husband and a wedding, and she's wanted it her whole life, basically.
Well, I will be your husband.
I know, but to her...
To her what?
Well, no, I just mean... Yes, I know that, and I see you that way, but she won't.
I see.
I don't feel that way. I love the way you are. I love everything about you.
But you don't think they will?
I just don't think they've ever met a trans person.
Well, maybe this is a good thing then.
How is this a good thing?
Well, sometimes people are just afraid of the unknown. Maybe if they meet me and get to know me, they'll see that I'm going to be a great husband for you.
Maybe.
Sweetheart, I'm ready for this. But if you're not, and you really want to leave, we can.
Do I get any of the cupcakes if we leave?
No, absolutely not.
I guess we will go in a minute. I just need a minute.
Take your time.
Just then, there is a tap on the driver's side window.
Hey,
Scotto,
kiddo.
Valley, and Max.
Dad, hi!
Hey, what's taking you so long? We're so excited to see you.
I know, sorry, I was just...
And this must be the infamous Max. Hello. Me and Sal heard so many wonderful things about you, son.
Thank you, sir. Same here.
Sir? Who's sir? I don't know any sirs.
Dad!
Call me Pat.
It's great to meet you, Pat.
Come on out. Mom's waiting, and she's made your favorite.
Max exits the car and crosses to the other side.
Thanks, Dad.
What's in that box?
Cupcakes. And before you ask, there is a red velvet one in here just for you.
He's a keeper.
I know.
Let's head in.
Dad starts walking away. End of play. A very public, very family-friendly park bench. The characters are Reese and Nathan. The setting is a public park. We hear birds singing, children playing. The lights come up on two people who are seated at a park bench. It's uncomfortable.
So,
Don't make this weird.
I'm not making anything weird. It just is weird.
But it doesn't have to be.
Have the kids said anything yet?
No.
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 They haven't asked where I am.
They probably think you're on a business trip.
I've been gone for a week and neither of them have said anything.
They're teenagers, E. They have their own lives that they're wrapped up in. I'm there and they don't even notice or care right now.
I guess that makes me feel a little better.
I thought it might.
You're so good at that.
At what?
At making me feel better.
Well, it's been my job for the last 20 years.
Your job?
Come on. I'm kidding.
Doesn't sound like you are.
You know what I meant.
Sure.
Do you think she's also leaving him for a woman?
No, I don't.
She could be.
Okay, let's go with that's what's happening. Do you think that she told him a few months ago that she actually identifies as they, them? Or do you think that they just played along in the marriage and acted like everything was perfectly normal? So that by the time they do tell him they're leaving him for a woman, he is left completely surprised. And wondering if his whole marriage has been a lie.
You think our whole marriage has been a lie?
I don't know. Has it?
How could you think that?
Because you hid a part of yourself from me. You thought that you couldn't talk to me about something so important to you and just to who you are. That's what hurts the most.
I didn't think you'd respond
You
well.
didn't give me a chance.
You don't exactly have a history of...
Reacting well?
You said it.
That's right. I'm the explosion guy, the 0 to 100. But I do normally come back to center.
You do.
Well, we were wrong.
Oh, wow, he's proposing.
Not getting divorced. Bummer.
Good for them.
Are we supposed to, like, clap or something?
No, let's just pretend we don't notice.
Oh, it's too late. I made eye contact.
Break it!
I can't.
Just smile and nod. Now mouth, congratulations.
This is painfully awkward.
I think it's hilarious.
You would.
Remember when you proposed?
Oh, what a disaster that was.
I thought it was sweet.
Well, it was certainly less corny than what we just witnessed.
I like that we didn't have an audience.
You don't consider the nurses in the ER an audience?
Wow. They weren't there when you fell off the ladder proposing.
I don't know why I thought that was a good idea.
In some ways, though, don't we think you coming to my window to propose was sort of like foreshadowing?
What do you mean? You loved that song. I thought it was great we didn't care what other people thought about our relationship, so I figured if I climbed up a ladder and came to your window to propose that it would be sweet.
You know that song is about her not caring what people think about her being gay, right?
Is it?
Yes.
You don't say.
It was a great proposal.
Did you know then?
I said yes, didn't I?
No. I mean, did you know then that you didn't feel like you were you?
I'm not sure. I think I've never really felt like a woman, but I didn't think much of it. I think I never really felt like I only liked men, but growing up Catholic, it wasn't really something I could explore.
Oh.
Honestly, if it weren't for the girls and their friends, I probably wouldn't even know what non-binary is. And I would still be living in a way that is less true to myself.
Do you feel better?
Better how?
Happier? Do you feel happier?
Yes.
Good. I'm glad. I want you to be happy. I just thought you were happy with me.
I was. I am. I care about you, but I just need to do this for me. I need to be me.
I know.
I love you, E. I do.
I love you too.
I think I was just afraid all these years, so I was lying to myself.
And to me,
This really isn't about you.
it feels pretty personal to me.
Let's not make a scene. That's why we are on this very public, very family-friendly park bench.
I know.
I want a divorce.
I know.
But I think you should come back home.
Wait, what?
I think we should still live together.
How exactly would that work? What, we pretend to be together and never tell anyone?
No, we tell everyone, including the girls.
What?
We are great at living together. We're a great parenting team. We can still have that.
But that is just so weird.
What is weird about it?
People who get divorced don't continue to live together. The whole point of getting divorced is usually to get away from each other.
It doesn't have to be.
I think I need some time to think about this.
I understand.
Once again, we hear the birds singing, the children playing. The couple sit in silence as the lights fade. End of play.
We really had such a good time, I think, working on this. Did anyone have anything that they related to, or that made them really feel something?
I just want to say thank you so much for being here tonight. For those of us who could not get to Boston or New York, here we have theater brought right to Southbridge, and that's just wonderful. And a really nice addition to the program for 18 years, I think, of Pride in Southbridge celebration. So thank you all.
And I have to thank Barbara for being here. That's such an honor to have Barbara here, so thank you for being here. Anyone else? Round two, yeah.
Yeah, I also feel like it's just a play that I feel like really expresses, like, some people like me, I use the pronouns they, them.
Yeah.
Caesar, I just feel like it also is just taking one step forward.
Thank you, I really appreciate that. Thank you. And that's what we hope it does, so thank you. Number one fan. Anyone else have anything? Any? Yeah, Patrick.
I identify with the dad who obviously wants to respect his child but keeps messing up the pronouns.
Yeah, I think sometimes that's hard, and I think a lot of people, and I think it's good to see people trying, but we're all human, and sometimes we just don't. And parents, I mean, we never get it right? So.
I mean, sometimes.
Sometimes. Good to know that sometimes we've done it right. A lot of writing for me is really talking to these people I know, and some people maybe writing isn't their gift, but I like to do it. So I think one of the really neatest, that's not a word, one of the neat things about the Cupcake play, that's the new one, is I was talking to a trans friend of mine, and they were just so excited. They were like, I really want you to write a piece, and I want to make sure I did it some sort of justice. So we had a lot of these really great conversations, and they had recommended a documentary, and we talked a lot. And one of the things that stood out the most to me, though, was that they said, in my experience, a lot of people just have never met a trans person, or they don't know that they have, even.
Yeah.
Right? And
I mean, yes.
Yeah.
I know some people who, well, I may have seen somebody who may not know what trans is or what trans means.
And I think sometimes that's scary to people just because they don't know. Right?
I mean, but everybody should express themselves, and it's good to get to know someone who, like, is different.
It is.
Like, yeah.
I think you're right there. And so I think on that, like, writing these experiences and stuff, I think it's just, I do a lot of research, I do a lot of talking, and I just try to be, take this human approach, because that's the other part of writing is I hope that, this is a great example of, I saw myself in that play, and that's really what you hope to do. Like, so I think a big part of it for me is trying to make more roles for folks that I know, right? It's not, like, I think that sometimes is the problem, is that some folks don't get to go see a show that they see themselves in. So that's a long answer to John's question, but Barbara?
Do you ever expect to expand any of these into full length?
So that's a great question. So here's the thing, as a writer, the 10-minute play is kind of our game, like, because we have more of a chance sometimes at getting the 10-minute plays out there. But some of these, actually, you know what? I guess I should say it now. That's a great question. I'm working on a new play, and some of these I'd love to expand into their own story, but sometimes, it's like the full-length play game is just its own thing. So I am working on this new play called We Regret to Inform You. And if you're a playwright or a person, you get a lot of rejection. So some of these, until they weren't, were rejected plays for some time. So this play follows a playwright and their submission process, which is a very active, time-consuming thing. And each theater reads them, and each play is performed by an ensemble. So I suspect some of these might make their way into that. But in terms of expanding them, maybe. Kind of depends on how they live on a universe, like in a universe of that being the entirety. So, good question.
Did you just explain like what the play's about? Or
Kind of.
Can we get like a sneak peek of
A sneak peek. I mean, the actors are up for it.
concepts?
So the concept is sort of, not all of these would be in it. Really, I think only park benches at this point in time. Actually, no, that's a lie. Right now, I've thrown a bunch of the rejected plays in a document. And ideally, some of these, I think, Cass's sister kind of said this, I really try to blend humor and drama because I think even the most dramatic things, sometimes there is humor in them, even if we don't want them.
Yeah, true.
Right? So I imagine this play to be somewhat of a comedy in a lot of ways that then hits people. And so I think what happens is, I had another play where it's a very ensemble piece, and throughout it, like, these actors would come out and play different parts. So I think that kind of happens throughout, and maybe the playwright is in it because sometimes we write with ourselves in mind, so it's kind of a joke on that. But I don't know. Any questions? Any questions for how we go about doing this or people's process? You go.
A couple of things, because I've worked with you in a couple of
Yeah.
plays. One of the things I notice is it seems like you leave all of your storylines open-ended.
I do, yeah.
And why?
I like
Ask John. I like things closed. I like
I
things
hate
neat.
because I see enough plays that are closed and tell you what to think and tell you. I love to leave something and be like, I don't know, are those people together? I think it leads to a better conversation on the way home. Like, if I were to see something like Park Bench, like Mike and I, my husband, like, we might leave and have two very different opinions of that. And I think that's an important thing to do for people, to let them kind of decide on their own. And I think enough plays wrap it up nicely, so then that's great that they do. But
Can I comment on that as
yeah,
well?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, please talk, guys.
I think
Yeah, the cast deserves.
They deserve to talk.
I think in life we don't have a lot of endings. It really doesn't end. It keeps going until it really ends, and then you can't really react to your own life after that.
Yeah.
So it's just you capture in your work a moment in time, and there are always going to be some loose ends or some unknowns in the future, because that's exactly what life is like, and I think that's why people relate to your writing so much.
Thank you.
And it's, if you think about it, going into any play, you don't know what's happened before.
Right.
You're just coming into it where you are, so there's no reason not to leave it that way as well.
Yeah.
It gives you the opportunity to kind of, imagine for yourself, and then, maybe at some point part 2 will come out and you'll be totally wrong. So I have a question for the allied gentleman over there.
Yeah.
What's it been like for you guys to work on, this amount of queer material?
It's fantastic. I love the community. I've always felt very embraced by the community. So it's nice to be able to be in a position to work with my wife to help produce work that speaks to the community and is involved. I feel as welcomed and accepted. It's really fantastic.
We can change that.
And I should note too, and this is a big moment for myself as well. My husband's not an actor. This is his first time acting in anything, and it was, he really wanted to get to be part of this too. And I think, again, we all know each other, and I think we all, it was great to see. But Brian, I don't want to take. You had 2 performances, and I know you want more, so I don't want to tell you.
There's so much that I don't know and everything like that. So having the opportunity to listen and learn from people is it's one of those key things. So
anybody else got anything on the horizon that's coming up?
I just finished a production of Twelfth Night with Hanover Repertory in Worcester, and I just auditioned for their upcoming season, which is going to be 4 shows. So I could be cast in any.
We're waiting.
And I have no idea when it's going to happen.
And Vivian, you have something coming up Saturday.
Vivian has a lot of things.
I always have a bunch coming up, but yeah, there's a really fun show I'm doing in Worcester at Electric Haze on Saturday night, and it is a
Mulberry Street, right? I already Googled it.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Right near Kelly
We've
Square.
got a big fan in the audience.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's a reunion performance of some improvisational writing.
How a lot
that
of us know
involved
each other.
Crazy characters. How I Met Mary, actually.
How I Met Mary Jane.
And it's one of those things that's very hard to describe, but very fun once you're there and once you're experiencing it. Very interactive.
A bracketed writing contest of characters while the audience throws things at them. They're timed, they're competing, and they're ridiculous characters.
You get to throw things and you get to vote for the winners, so it's really all about the audience.
Can we bring our own things?
Well, no.
No, unfortunately, I've run into this before. There's a protocol for that.
Yeah,
and
it is 21 plus.
And you're a murder mystery actor.
I am also a murder mystery actor, so I'm all over New England all the time doing murder mystery shows. So you might just see me if you ever attend one.
Murdering someone. Billy, what's up next for you?
I'm going to go see Vivian on Saturday. Yes. And then my husband is taking me on a much-needed vacation.
Yes. We've been together for a while doing shows. We all need a rest. We're resting.
I need to get away from you, Mary.
Yeah, I need to get away. We all need to take a break.
Not me.
No.
Of course not me.
Yes, no. We're all on rest after this. Some of us have done back-to-back. Billy has been with me. We did Average Hospital. We did the play that competed in New York. And then it was in Boston, too. I forgot that. And so we've done a lot. And, yeah, we're tired. Mike, what's up next for you?
Hopefully some film work and some different projects that we have set aside for the fall. So we've done a lot of plays and a lot of theatrical things, but part of creating Museful intent was to dive into some short film work. So we have a few ideas that are up our sleeve, and hopefully we can get them out there this fall.
Brian?
I'm gonna hibernate and work on my baked goods, because that's how I get cast in Mary's plays, by baking things. So I'm gonna work on my baked goods, getting them where they need to be, so that way when the films come up and all of the other shows, I can
You can feed us.
bribe my way in.
And last but not least, Alana, what do you have going on?
Whole lot of nothing. I mean, I am in grad school, so that's kind of all encompassing in a couple of months. So. But for now, also in hibernation.
Cass, what do you have up next?
I know. I got into watercolor recently, so if you look at our art show after, you'll see some of my embroidery work. I also embroidered this hat. It says "Trans People Belong," but now I'm into watercolor, so we'll see next year.
Anything else on the horizon?
Mostly work. I'm really loving my job and doing some equity work right now, and able to do some trainings helping healthcare learn how to just work in a more gender affirming way. So that's pretty exciting.
That's awesome. That's really great. So we've got a great group. You've been a great audience, so thank you. And we hope to see you all again. All right. We hope to see you again. Absolutely. And I'm sure we will. So, right, Bryce was going to cast you.